Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Janae. I was just making sure everything's working okay. Your PowerPoint?
Yep, yep. I
Okay.
tried to share my screen. I've got the capabilities, so I think I'm good.
Okay. All right. I'm
Thank
going
you.
to sign off then. You're in good hands. All right.
Yes.
Bye. Good to see you
Uh,
again.
yes, have a good evening. Welcome, everyone. We're going to get started right at 6. I want to be conscientious of your time. I have a hard stop in 45 minutes. We're recording. And so get comfortable. We're going to have a good time. All right. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is in good health and good spirits. I'm so happy that you joined this evening. This will be time well spent. We're going to jump right in with the goal of helping you find a job. That is part of the journey and the whole goal of law school. So we're going to try to have some fun, but I want you to walk away with action steps. And at the very end, there's a special opportunity that you may be selected to participate in. So the goal, the overarching theme is find a job. And by job, we also mean during law school, internships, and other legal experience opportunities. Let's see. Okay, I don't need to view that. We're not advancing here. Bear with me just a bit. There we go. All right. So I'll introduce myself in just a second, but more importantly, I would like for everyone to try their best to get into a state of bliss. What is bliss? Bliss is a state of being where no matter what's going on around you, you can breathe yourself down to a place where you can hear yourself tell yourself that everything you need is already inside of you. How do you get there? I'm glad you asked. You get there through deep breathing. So I'd like for each of you to sit up a little bit taller and take 3 intentional cleansing breaths. So on the inhale, you are pulling in what you need right now. If it's energy, if it's excitement, if it is opening your mind, then that's what you're inhaling. And as you exhale, you are letting go of everything that is not serving you in this moment, such as feeling overly stressed, out of sorts, not good enough. Those thoughts that try to bring us down, we're letting go of those right now. This is breathing with intention. So, on the count of 3, I want you to take 3 deep, intentional breaths. And on that third exhale, I mean, really let it go from the inside, deep down, bringing those shoulders back and down. And hopefully, now we're in that state of bliss where we can receive what we need because we've created space to do so. All right, let's jump right in. You have joined a lecture tonight from the Career Development Office, often known as the CDO. Let me introduce you to my team. I am Dean Tanea McDonald. I am the Assistant Dean of the Career Development Office. In the middle is Lauren Damiano, also an alumni of Delaware Law School. She is our Associate Director, and Emily Shim is our coordinator. And she's just a wonder with the computer. So stop by our office, interface with us once you can. We are here with one job, that is to help you find a job. All right, so we're going to talk about these action steps or the plans you need to start putting together and implementing for success. Keeping in mind, and I know you've heard this at orientation, you've heard this all throughout your educational career, and it's true here. This is not a sprint. It is not. Even though sprinting was the hottest part of the Olympics, one of the hottest, what you're doing now in law school and preparing yourself for a great legal career, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Now, my 2 colleagues in my department have both run marathons, and what they both said is you've got to plan, and you've got to plan well in advance, and you've got to implement a different aspect of your plan every day of your training. And that is so similar to what it takes to start your legal career exactly where you need to, in a firm or in a space that gels well with your personal style, your goals, your morals, and your values, and your interests. And the only way to get it right is to plan during law school and to explore as much as you can over these 3 years or 4 years. So the success rules for the early stages of creating and developing your legal career is to understand the goal. And the goal of law school that often goes overlooked is that this is a 3-year exploratory period. So even if you came into law school saying, I know exactly what I want to do, I'm going to encourage you to let that go, to open your mind and to explore, because there may be a practice area, a firm, a company that could introduce you to something that you've never heard of before that would be a great fit for you. So you want to set a goal. Once you establish what the goal is, develop a plan similar to those marathon runners. And you want to break that plan into action steps. And you want to work your plan. That is how you get the experiences that really create allow you to be a very well-versed job applicant who is well informed, so that you're not just applying for everything because everybody else is applying, or applying to big firms because that's what you're supposed to do. I want you to be intentional about that. And I want you to be able to make informed decisions about where you apply, where you spend your time. And the only way to do that is to have a goal and a plan. So the goal during law school I talked about was exploring. How do you do that? Through summer internships, semester externships, judicial internships, that actually should say internships, and volunteer opportunities. I've gotten several jobs in my long career because I was volunteering somewhere and someone with a job saw me doing something well and they reached out to me. So don't ever underestimate volunteer opportunities. And they don't all have to be legal volunteer opportunities. It's just in spaces where you could be around people who could take notice of your zeal and your expertise. And you never know who they might know that may have a job with your name on it. So developing that plan. These are things that you want to start doing even in your first year of law school. You want to join your local bar association. Most of them have free memberships for law students. You want to join the clubs and societies in law school that speak to your interest areas or your experience or your passion areas. You want to attend networking events. You will get emails from the CDO often with free, low cost, sometimes low cost networking opportunities. Take advantage of those. And again, I cannot understate or overstate how important volunteering is. So that's why it's in my slide deck twice. So you definitely want to volunteer as much as possible. All right, so this is also one that often gets kind of overlooked. You want to create a LinkedIn profile as a student, or you want to update a LinkedIn profile that you have as a student. So for my transitioning law students, and those are students who've had robust careers and now they're transitioning into the law, you want to update your LinkedIn profile showing that you are a law student. And even if you don't have one and you're creating, the LinkedIn profiles are going to be very similar. You're going to state or choose what law school you're attending. You always want to include your classification, what year of law school you're in, and you can include a blurb about why you're going to law school. This is your opportunity to create networks as a law student, not as a professional in your previous profession. So you want to make sure that your LinkedIn profile reflects that you are currently a law student. It makes a big difference. You will start getting hits for job opportunities once LinkedIn knows, as if it's a person, but once you let LinkedIn know that you are a law student. And most importantly, and this is where our department comes in, reach out for help or reach up. Whatever you do, don't feel that you're in this on this marathon journey by yourself. You are not. There's an entire team that is dedicated to helping you find meaningful legal experiences during law school and to help you find a job at the end of your journey. So reach out for help. Professors are also there. If you need letters of recommendation, that's where you reach out for those. But everyone in the building is committed to ensuring that our students have a wonderful experience at Delaware Law and that they get a job at the end of this so they can be proud of the time and money and work that they put in. All right, so we talked about these opportunities to engage, network. Be sure to open the emails that you get from CDO. We are very intentional about not over filling your inboxes. So the emails that we send are the ones that are extremely important. Pretty soon, you will also get emails about job postings. You're not getting those just yet, but they're coming soon. So you want to open the emails from the CDO. They're chock full of good information and opportunities for your growth and development. All right, so now we're transitioning to the purpose of our time together, and that is your legal resume, which is going to be slightly different from other resumes from for other business sectors or from the resume that you've had and used successfully before. So the legal resume has three sections. Education is first, work experience is second, and then we like to have an interest and skills section. So your resume will look like this. You don't have to strain your eyes because I'm going to go through each section in turn. But the biggest rule of your legal resume, and it does not matter how long of a career you've had, is that your legal resume as a law student must be one page, period, full stop. So for some of you, and I had to do this myself because I went to law school later in life after a very robust career or two. I had to redact things out, and it was a little bit painful for me. But I've also been on hiring committees for different firms and an in-house counsel, and I'll tell you, they will not turn the page. For a law student, a brand new lawyer, they will not turn the page to see what wonderful information is on the second page of your resume. So you want to get that resume down to one page. So let's look at these sections. Education, the rule is that you're going to list your education in reverse chronological order. Law school should be first. You want to include the full name of your law school, the city and state, and your expected graduation date. You do want to include your GPA. Now, there are some subtleties here. If your GPA is 3.0 or higher, you absolutely want to include that on your resume. If it is not, then you want to exercise your judgment depending on where you are sending this resume, because you may not want to include your GPA if it is far below a 3.0. Do people, applicants with GPAs lower than 3.0 get jobs? Absolutely, they do. So this is just the general rule. When we look at activities, you want to include the activities where you hold a leadership role or you were voted into a position. You do not necessarily want to include activities or associations where you are simply a member. However, if you're a member of your local bar association or the state bar association, you want to include that on your resume as a member. And you can see how you would also list your education for your undergraduate education as well. We will be sending out sample resumes, and one will also include a study abroad opportunity so that you can see how to include that on your resume, and that would go in your education section. So we get questions about AA degrees and other certificates. At this point in your job search process, you do not want to include any other degrees other than the JD that you're pursuing and your bachelor's degree. If you have a master's, then I would say, yes, that needs to be included, but nothing lower than a bachelor's. All right, so when we look at experience, and this is going to be the nuts and bolts of your resume. Number one, all experience can help prove that you're a great candidate for an opportunity. So we can look at this resume and we see they were a law clerk. When we look at this in more detail, what I always say is you must land the plane. What does that mean? You have to be specific. So on that first bullet where it says research various commercial litigation issues, you do not want to stop there. You want to include the specific rules or areas of the law that you researched. If you drafted documents, which is the second bullet, you want to include the types of documents that you drafted. Because what employers are looking for, in addition to do they have the grades, do they have experience, they're also assessing what level of experience you have with the law in general, so that they can determine how much training would be required if they bring you on board. So you want to tell them with specificity the type of experience that you have so that they can make that analysis well. And that could be what puts you over the edge ahead of another candidate that maybe just wrote very broadly, I've researched various legal issues and I've drafted documents. The employer wouldn't know what that actually means. So hopefully you'll hear my voice when you're drafting your legal resume and hear me say, land the plane. Translation, be specific. So let's look at this applicant's role as the shift manager and server at a restaurant. And it's in here intentionally because what we are highlighting in the jobs that we've held, whether legal or not, are the skills that you employed in that role that are also skills that are essential to the practice of law, such as managing people and tasks, resolving issues or problem solving, maintaining quality control, compliance, those types of things. All of those things are listed under this applicant's experience under Harvest Grill, a restaurant. So I do not want you to shy away from the meaningful work experiences that you have that are not legal, because what the employer is looking for is skills that you have. And a lot of skills that you use as a bartender and customer service and wait staff at a restaurant are the same skills that you have to employ that are essential to the practice of law, because the practice of law is a business. And at the meat of that business is customer service. All right, so when we look at the third work experience here as a camp counselor, if you've been a camp counselor, you always want to put that on your resume because it shows a level of compassion, the ability to work with different types of people, different generations of people, and your care and your ability to make sure that they have a good experience. And that all speaks volumes to legal employers. So I'll give you a moment to read the bulleted items there to show this is how you want to highlight those skills of leadership, of communication, of group projects, community service projects with specificity. So all of this will be emailed to you, so you'll have it. I'm just talking you through it so that when you see it again, hopefully some of my words will come back to you. All right, so this is where I highlight the legal hot words and then the hot words that are showing skills that are transferable to the legal practice, even though they were obtained not in a legal job. So I talked to you about writing with specificity. So everything that's highlighted in yellow are those legal hot words. So if you're thinking about a bot, and a lot of firms and companies use bots, and they're just looking for those hot words, those key terms. These are some of those key terms that a bot would say, yes, we're going to advance this resume. The words that are highlighted in green are those words that highlight skills that would be important to a legal employer. So you will receive a packet, and in that packet will be other action words or key terms that you want to pepper in to your resume where applicable. So skills and interests. This is an important section. I can tell you this, when I was an undergrad many, many years ago, I did a work study abroad in West Africa for 3 months. We worked in a small village in Ghana or outside of Ghana. We built a maternity clinic and we also taught American English in a school. For the first couple of interviews that I had after I graduated from undergrad, the only thing I talked about was my study abroad. So, and that was at the bottom of my resume as other experiences or interests because I love to travel. You never know where just listing your interests could create a connection point for an employer. And that could be the basis of conversation for your entire interview. So when you think about that interview or your resume, the employer is taking a gamble on a piece of paper. And so anything that you can show that reader that sets you out among the group of other applicants that will all be well qualified as you are is going to be important. And that's where your skills and interest section can really set you apart and make you very, very interesting to an employer. So your interests will be those things that you do out and you enjoy doing outside of school and outside of work. And so here are some examples there. If you speak another language, you definitely want that to be first. If you are interested in sports, include that. But then also, I like running, I've run marathons. Again, be specific because your reader may also be a marathoner. And so that would be a connection point that would make you especially interesting to that employer. So that's what you're thinking about. If you think about an employer getting a stack of resumes for every job that thick, you're trying to think of what can I do that's going to set me apart from other well-qualified applicants. Now, it's going to come through your skills, how you highlight your skills in your interests, and of course, your GPA and your activities in law school. What you do not want to do is say, I'm going to put a picture of myself on my resume. No. You don't want to say, I'm going to do a creative blue border because that's the color of my law school. No, it is a black and white formulaic formal document. And it should be the formatting is not how you set yourself apart. It is the content. So please do not submit resumes that have colors, pictures, graphics, or anything like that. It is the content of your resume that will set you apart from other applicants. So I'm going to spend a brief moment on your cover letter. And I'll ask you to read this as I hit some of the highlights. Number one, your cover letter is 3 paragraphs, period. Again, very formulaic. You're going to find that most writing in law school is formulaic. When you do your essays, your exams, there's a formula. If you haven't been introduced to it, you will, but it begins with a C and it ends with a C. So if you keep that in mind, this will become kind of like doing a math problem. And you will make adjustments only in paragraph 3. So paragraph 1 is where you talk about yourself as a law student. You include the full name of your law school, the city and state of your law school, your classification, and you may want to include your GPA and class rank. If someone recommended you for the position, that's also in that first paragraph as well. You also, if you have involvement in moot court, a law review, if you're the president or a sitting officer in a club or society, that all goes very succinctly, very concisely in paragraph 1. Paragraph 2 is where you talk about your work experience, detailing the specific roles and skills, again, highlighting the skills that are also essential to the practice of law. So even if all of your work experience has been in the restaurant industry, you were a problem solver, you provided customer service, you met people where they were, you made them feel comfortable, you attended to their needs. Those are skills that are important, essential to the practice of law, and that would be included in paragraph 2. Your third paragraph, and this is the one that will change with every application, is where you state expressly why you are excited about this employer. And so you're going to do yours differently than other law students. An average law student from another law school is just going to look at the homepage of the firm they're applying to and just regurgitate. You're a large firm, you're the best in the state, and everyone loves you. Now, you are not going to do that. This third paragraph is where you're going to dig deeper and find out things, actual things about that firm that excite you, whether it's their commitment to pro bono work, their commitment to diversity, their commitment to, I don't know, infusing AI into their practice. But you're going to find specific things that really do excite you about that employer, and you're going to include that there. Again, the third paragraph is the one that changes with every application. So let's recap. Your resume is one page. For some of you, you're going to take some time, pull out the things that are nice to know, and focus on what is necessary. Your resume is where you highlight your educational prowess and the skills that you have employed, developed, used in previous work experience, highlighting those skills that are essential to the practice of law. Your cover letter, 3 paragraphs, very formulaic. The paragraph that changes with every application is the third paragraph, where you really gas up the employer, letting them know how great you think they are. They love that. So this brings me to a special program that we're going to be rolling out to your class. Check your email because some of you will be randomly selected for a program. And if you are, you will get that email on October 10th. The instructions will be in the email, but basically it's going to be your opportunity to draft your resume and get early feedback from our department. Once your resume is corrected, we will choose 3 resumes to serve as the examples for the rest of your class. If you are chosen and you submit your resume on time, you will be invited to a very special program. So 30 of you will be selected and you'll all get expert feedback from us, and that'll kind of give you a head start on a lot of other law students around. But be sure to check your email on October 10th because that's when the selections will be made. And your resume will be due on October 17th. So you will have 1 week to write your resume. Before this program starts, you will receive our resume writing handout in your inbox. And so you will have examples in that packet that you can use as your template, if you will. All right, so here's what everyone's waiting for. When can one else contact the Career Development Office? Monday, September 30th. And you can contact us for a variety of reasons: to ask about the types of internships that Delaware law students often get, to take a look at your resume and cover letter, to just talk through the process about, your interests and how that would align with certain practice areas. But we are here for you. We are on a 3-2 schedule. There's someone in the office every day, but there's also someone working remotely. So you can do your meeting with us on the phone, via Zoom, and in person. And you make those appointments by reaching out to us at Delaware Law Careers at widener.edu. So we have a few minutes for questions. If you have questions, you can holler them out. You can type them in the chat. Hopefully you found something. Show of hands, did you find something helpful in the time that we've spent together? Even if it's just understanding the importance of deep breathing. And any questions, please feel free to holler them out. Excellent. I'm getting some feedback that we got some content. Yes, but explore, explore, explore during law school. Don't think, oh, I don't want to do that. If there's an info session, just go in. There might be a slice of pizza with your name on it, but you just might learn something that really speaks to you in a way that you didn't expect. So explore, explore, explore. Enjoy law school. It is a very precious time in the lives of a very few people. You are are living a life that most people only dream about. If you talk to people and you tell them you're in law school, you will get this response often. I know I did. And that response was, I always wanted to go to law school. Well, you are living their dream. You got through the LSAT, you showed up for orientation, and now you're locked in and committed. So enjoy, make friendships, explore. So, and when you graduate, my goal, my job is to make sure you start your legal career exactly where you're supposed to be. We are here for you. You can reach out to us on September 30th and anytime thereafter. Stop by and see us sometime. And I'll open the floor for questions again. I don't see any. Well, thank you. I'm a yogi, so I end everything with a namaste or peace unto you. But namaste means the light in me honors the light in you. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I look forward to meeting you all in person someday. Good luck.